just arrived in Daudu, which is close to Makurdi. And Makurdi is the capital of Benue State. And we've been traveling about 5-6 hours yesterday. We have had no time in Abuja to go to our own camp. But we've been working for so long with Governor Orton in Europe and especially in Washington, D.C. We have been advocating on behalf of these people. But I've never been here, so for me it's quite emotional that, we are now at a place where we invest so much time and energy and money to bring the situation of these people to the attention of the world. This is Mr. Alexander, and he will tell a little bit more about the camp. And I don't know anything about this place, but this is one of the 3 camps. So I believe that there are 3 camps, and this is the biggest, or is there
Daudu one is the biggest camp. In Daudu we have 3 camps. We have Daudu 1, 2, and 3. Here where we are standing here is Daudu 3,
okay.
IDP camp. One of the camps in Gumalogo government area of Benue State.
So this is not the biggest? Because I look around.
No, this is not the biggest. The other one is bigger than this one.
Much bigger than this one.
The Daudu one is bigger than this one.
Yeah. So when did this camp arrive? I mean, when the first time I came here, this was not here. And I remember the people just sleeping and living besides the road.
Yes.
So the UNHCR came in and they built these tents. When did that happen?
2019, May. Because these people, they were staying at our community. There is one secondary school here. They were staying there. So the community told them to leave the school for them. So they came back and settled here before the MSF constructed this tent.
Okay, and how many people are here at the moment? How many families?
Farmers that are here?
Yes.
Household. We have about 1,737 households here.
And how many people is that? It's an average of 5-6 people per household?
Some of the households are more than 6, some are 10, 13,
okay.
14, even some of the households are even up to 18.
So we are talking about 7,000 to 8,000 people in
Yes,
this camp?
Yes.
And do you know the 3 camps altogether? How many people are here close to Makurdi?
The total camp, the total population of the 3 camps?
Yes.
I don't have the data up here, but we in Daudu 1, we have about 5,000 plus. In Daudu 2, have about 20-something thousand, and here is about 8,000 and something.
Okay. And how do you deal with the food? Because I can imagine if you have this many people, that how do you deal with supplying food?
We have some international organizations like ICRC last week. Last week they just finished distribution here. They issued 25 kg of rice to each household, 10 kg of beans, 2 bags in each household, 1 soybean flour, 1 bag per each household, 10 liters of vegetable oil, and 3 bags of salt.
Okay, and so, the people cook for themselves?
Yes, they cook for themselves here.
Because I remember the situation was so bad then that there was no food.
There are interventions are coming from, apart from the government, interventions are coming from some churches and some individuals that they feel like giving the IDP something. They also provide assistance for them, even food and non-food items.
Yes, well,
they are the one helping the government.
Well, I'm so pleased that we started working with the governor.
Yes.
Just after his election, his first election.
Yes.
And the situation was really bad at the time.
Yes.
And I'm happy that he has been able to travel and go abroad and bring this to the attention of the world. And it's so these people are still away from their homes, but at least now they have a roof. And I hear from you that there is food coming.
Yeah, and there are support from NGOs, the government, churches, and individuals.
Yeah, and I'm thankful as well for the help that the people from Europe has given to organizations like Stefanos, who has been traveling back and forth all over the world to bring this to the attention, because that's how it works. If the UN, if governments, if Washington DC, if Westminster do not know about what's going on here, then they might be willing to help. But if you don't know about it, they cannot help. So it's very important to especially look at Mark, all the traveling and the energy and money that he spent to, you know, bring this to the attention of the world. So I would say let's go around and see how the camp looks like. Do the people cook in their own tents, or
No,
do
they
they
cook
go
outside. Look
outside?
at, you can see how.
Oh yeah, so
Those
they
are the places
gather
that
here
yes.
for the cooking.
Yes. This is the cooking place. When the shelters are being constructed, they will leave a space for them to cook.
Okay.
So that the fire will not go near to the tent.
Yeah. You can see, you know, the wood that they gather to do the cooking. Wow, it's very small.
Basic.
You can see.
Okay, so
yes.
one of it like this is for the family.
Yes.
It's really small. How many people do live here?
Sometimes 3, sometimes 4.
Yeah.
One tent.
Yeah, it's
managed with
very,
this one.
very basic.
Yes.
But at least, you know, they have a roof and, you know, their own space. Yeah, it's sad. Especially knowing that these are farmers who used to live on the land.
Good morning. Morning.
This is another cooking place.
Yeah. And these are people who live here.
These are the community people. They were staying here before the inception of this camp.
And how do they cope with the IDPs? Is the relationship good between the local people and...
Sometimes when the government want to provide an assistance, you know, when the IDPs are staying in the community, it also affects the community, the host community.
That's what we saw in Abuja.
So anything that we want to do here, we also include the community members.
Yes. And
the community members are deeply involved in whatever is going to happen in this camp, and in all the camps.
And how is the personal involvement of Governor Ortem and his team? Because I noticed this morning that we did not have an appointment. And his chief of staff immediately grabbed the phone, called you.
Yes.
And within 1 hour,
it
was organized that we could come.
Yes.
So I believe that his personal involvement is very close, isn't it?
Yes, he also visited camps in all the times.
Well, you know, his own village, I was there 2 years ago. And it was just after his own village was sacked.
Yes.
Maybe you remember that.
Yes.
They burned his
own village.
Own village.
Up to now, in some of his communities, some places are even not accessible.
Yeah. So he himself is a victim.
Yes, he's a victim.
Because even
recently
they attacked him.
Yes.
And I believe he had to run away.
Yes.
Because they started shooting at his car. So. It's a very difficult situation.
Yes.
But this state, Benue, is quite unique.
Yes.
That it's not only a problem of the people.
Yes.
But the governor and the leaders themselves, they are the victims.
Yes.
Which is different from what often happens, that a governor has no affinity of what's going on the ground. And that's why I have appreciation for Governor Ortem.
Yes.
That he personally, you know, is involved and hands-on, trying to make a difference.
Yes.
And he's a simple man, you know. He's one of the people.
These tents are, we have 1,200 tents. Yes. Yes, 1,200 tents. All of these tents are 1,200.
Okay, 1,200.
Yes.
This is water.
Yes, this is
Okay.
water. It's being provided by the MSF.
What is the MSA?
Medicine Sans Frontier. Look at their logo.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah. In English, that's Doctors Without Borders.
Doctors
Yes.
Without Borders.
And how is the security of this place? Are these people being bothered by, bad people, or is this
No, security, we have the security men here.
okay?
The police, there is a police station here.
And that's a permanent police
Permanent
station.
police here. They always have to be here every day. I don't know why today I didn't see them here in the morning time. Okay.
Yeah, because what you often see is that the aggression often keeps coming against IDPs as well, so they run away,
Yes.
and they are
There
not
are
allowed
some places that are not even up. They are not safe up till now.
Yeah,
Some are safe. Some people do go back and come back in time sometimes.
and that's one of the issues that we are looking at. The security of these people,
Yes.
the ability to go back to those places and secure it somehow.
Yes. The security is stable. If the security is well at the border areas, these people can go back.
Yeah.
It's just about the security situation that is no guarantee that some of them are staying here up till now.
Yeah, and the state needs to have the possibility to secure those places. It's a very difficult issue, because the
Security
question is,
issue in
when
Nigeria
will
is
it be
very
safe
easy.
enough for the people to return? You cannot assess that. We had a couple of families from our camp returning,
Yes.
including to Michika, and as you know, recently, even last week when we were here,
Yes.
the town was attacked, and the same people then had to run away again.
Yes.
And these were people that were in our camps and went back. That's very difficult to assess whether the situation is good enough for people to return. So, yeah, thank you so much
Thank you, sir.
for the tour, and it gave a very good insight. And my condition is not good. I'm out of breath.
Yeah.
Thank you. We just finished walking through the camp, and we had a tour. We saw the small cabins that whole families have to live in, and the kitchens, and where people shower. And I think it's clean, at least, and it's safe. But of course, it's still a terrible situation. And the person I've been working with since 2010 is Mark Lipdo. In Jos, we filmed an interview, so go to the interview to see what his work is about, what Stefanos is all about. But I know that you were a little bit sad that we were not filming in our own camp, because in Abuja it's at least an hour drive, and we just did not have the time to visit our own people. So I'm happy that we can be here, but I know that Mark is a little bit sad that we could not film, the people that we have been helping and building houses for and supplying with food. And so many people from Jubilee Campaign as well have contributed to our camp in Nasarawa State. On the other hand, a big part of the work that you have been doing, and that's what people have not seen, is the advocacy on behalf of these people. So that's why I think it's appropriate, and especially because we have been cooperating with the governor of Benue State so much. And actually we will be traveling with people from the government of Benue State to Brussels, Geneva. And we have an invitation, as I told you yesterday, from the Prime Minister of Hungary to come to Budapest to speak on behalf of these people as well. So I think it's appropriate to be here. And maybe you can explain a little bit about the background of how the situation came to be.
Yes, Peter, if you remember in our interview in Jos, I told you a little bit about the minority tribal people of the Middle Belt.
Yes.
In 19 northern states, we are about 673 tribes. When this situation started around the Plateau states, and then Kano and other states like Yobe, Borno, and all that, we talked about it.
Yes.
We said the target are the minorities.
Yes.
And that's what has been taking me to Europe, has been taking me to US to talk about what is coming. Now you can see the magnitude of what is happening here. This is just Benue State, and not just Benue State, just the Tiv people in northern part of Benue.
And this is just a fraction
And
of
this
the
is
refugees.
just one of the camps that are here in Makurdi alone.
Yes.
We have not been to the interland, we've not been to some of the villages where things have happened, those who could not come to the camps.
Yeah.
So this is what the magnitude of what I was crying about.
Yes.
But the world did not hear me. This is about 21 years that we've been talking about this issue.
Yes.
The minorities of the Middle Belt are being targeted.
Yeah.
Now, to look at the situation where our people are staying, and the world has said nothing.
Yes.
Well, I am speechless today because I'm grateful to the work of Doctors Without Borders, who have, generously put up this camp. But where is United Nations? Where are the big countries? US,
Because
AID,
we're talking about 4 million IDPs. 4 million people like this. It's the city of London divided by 2.
Yes, so even though we do not want this situation to get to this place, that is why we kept intervening, talking about what is happening in Nigeria, so that the decision makers should look closely to the situations of the minorities in Nigeria. Now we are here, and the matter is still not over yet. We don't know where we're going. Just yesterday, we heard of killings in Jos again. We still heard of attacks in southern Borno, in Garkida.
Even while we're here.
Even while we're here.
The attacks went
So
on.
Where are the minorities going to turn to? Now, Peter, don't forget that we are over 200 million in this country.
Yes.
If this continues to happen and this camp is attacked, where do the people go? So this is why we are trying to look at the world. The whole process is a mess.
Yes.
For the strength of any organization is how much the weakest person is able to survive the system. But look at children here. Look at women. We have not even talked of men who are disabled. How can we take care of them? So I think it's still an opportunity in our job as bringing the voice of these people to the international community. We'll continue to do so. And we'll continue to cry on behalf of our people. Something has got to be done in the bigger picture. You see, one of the things that offend me is the narrative that we hear in Westminster that,
and Washington, D.C.
Of course, and Washington talking about desertification. Desertification coming from the north and driving the headers down here, meeting population explosion down here, and creating this conflict. Peter, the last I checked of Israel is a desert.
Yes.
And typical desert, these people transform it.
And there's no reason to take
the
land and the houses of these people.
And displace other people simply because your area is becoming a desert. It's best to stay where you are and take care of your problem.
Yes.
But then the decision makers seem to appeal to the plight of those who are displacing us more than we who own the place. And we move because we are not armed. What we see is that you have to be a terrorist to survive the world today. Many people are law-abiding here, but they have not been supported simply because they cannot take on to the system of terror. So the world has got to look closely to the plight of people like this for us to continue to build another very stable system in the world.
Is it fair to say that the federal government has been part of the problem? And that's one of the reasons that these people are not getting help.
Peter,
and that's the reason that we are working with governors and we are working with traditional leaders
Yes.
And we are not engaging anymore that much with the federal government because we think that the solution needs to come from the grassroots.
The setup we see today as federal government in Nigeria is a failure.
It's a failure, yes.
Yeah, when people are speaking, people look to the immediate. But let's not forget that starting from Obasanjo to Yaradua to Goodluck, and we are now seeing Buhari, none of this system has been able to sustain the conflict or control the conflict.
Yes.
So what the people are saying is that the process need to be transformed. We need to look to another system that is realistic, that can defend the people. The first responsibility of every government is to defend, protect its own people and defend their right and territorial integrity. But this, looking at what is happening to Nigerians today, you will conclude for yourself whether this federal government is standing or
whatever the government is doing,
yes,
it's not working.
It's not working. And so it's time to look to the people.
Yes.
These are thief people. They know their traditional ruler. Totif is the head of the thief people.
Yes.
If Totif stands here today, he can't be speaking about houses in northern Nigeria. He'll be speaking about the thief man.
Because you as a father will take care of your children.
Yes, there is a house.
There's nothing wrong about
There is Ado Bayero. He can speak about the houses.
Yes.
And so on and so forth. We are saying that these traditional rulers need to come together and say the system has failed.
And they should be the partners to work
with.
They
should be the voice.
Not only for NGOs, but governments in Europe, in Washington, need to start working with the people on the ground. Or we look to the
senators or the members of the House of Reps that their election process has been compromised.
Yes.
And so the wrong people get into the system and do not even do anything to protect the people.
Yeah, well, the message is clear.
So that is it. So the people need to come together and look to their country and the survival of their people.
Yeah.
That's what we are saying.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you.
The blue-headed woman. So this is where the government system is not helping at all. You know, that system has to be revisited. It's not as if those land is occupied by anybody. It's still vacant. But the thief have been moved from there to this place. You know, so these are some of the things. The similar thing that happened in Syria needs to happen.
And that's why we are bringing the traditional leaders to come to the international community.
Yes.
Yeah, we will keep fighting.
Yes.
God bless.
Yes. God, she's blessed. Yes. Thanks very much. Bless you, madam. God bless you. She's praying for you. When is she born? Yesterday? 2 weeks. 2 weeks now. Yeah, we were in other camp 2 days ago. The baby was born that night before. Yes. This is the future we need to take care of. Very nice.
Such a difference when you enter a Muslim place and when you're here. Even in this situation, people are peaceful.